I wouldn't want to get hurt even more.
My friends, Cuckoo is a brand new horror film from writer-director Tilman singer starring Hunter Schafer. And after the success that Neon had with Longlegs, I've been very stoked about this movie. And you know what? After seeing it, it's actually pretty wild. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. This is my spoiler-free review, so smash like, subscribe if you're new here, and let's get cuckoo. So the synopsis for this movie reads, 17-year-old Gretchen reluctantly leaves America to live with her father at a resort in the German Alps. Plagued by strange noises and bloody visions, she soon discovers a shocking secret that concerns her own family. And I just want to start out with Hunter Schafer. For those of you who have seen Euphoria, you already know, and if you've seen this movie, you know even more now. She's just a very compelling, unique and talented actress, and I gotta say, she held it down as the main in this one. Her character Gretchen is just thrust into this crazy plot, and she doesn't know who to trust. And she's also in this very foreign environment, fish out of water, and as for her performance, like, we have some really sentimental and also just like highly emotional moments between her and her dad, her and her mom, and her sister. And I appreciated it for that because I didn't expect it, and I don't know why, just judging off of the trailers, I kind of expected this movie to be more of a run-of-the-mill horror film. And I enjoy those types of horror films, the popcorn horror films, if you will, but a good horror film for me pushes the boundaries while also being very well written and having well written characters. I would also say it's frightening as hell sometimes, very similar to Longlegs. There's just a couple moments in this where you're like, ugh! But more than anything, I think that I was just intrigued because I was like, what the hell is happening? They're out in the Alps at this resort, and you know, props to the trailer for really not revealing a lot of the key details, because there is one major aspect to this film that is trippy as hell. And had I known that, and had that been spoiled for me going in, I just wouldn't have had as good of a time. Things get loopy in this movie, and intense, and gory, and loud, and you see in the trailer that she's being chased by this shrieking hooded woman monster thing with red eyes. And I'll tell you what, I think this might be my favorite, I don't even know what to call her, my favorite villain of the year so far. I mean, Longlegs is like right up there. Nosferatu is gonna be gunning for that top spot as well, but she was a lot of fun. But there's also this other side to the film with the resort owner, Dan Stevens, the man of the freaking year. I don't know how many actors have had this good of a year in a long times, but Dan Stevens has come onto the scene with force. And he has this German accent in this movie, and he's just being peak Dan Stevens, man. Like, he's unreal. And, you know, I don't want to take away from the other performances, but him just being there, being in this movie elevates it. And you gotta love an actor like that. And he's playing a very mysterious character. His character has a lot of depth. There's a fine line between who's good and who's bad. And I really think that that's something that audiences are gonna appreciate about this film. But another thing I wanted to touch on was just how well this movie was shot. It was shot on 35mm, big surprise why it looked so amazing, but it was shot by DP Paul Faltz, and it just makes for this very well lit and grungy look that's just gorgeous. The movie itself feels very punk rock, but it's playing within all of this beautiful terrain. And then you go inside, and even the close-up shots, you know, inside the resort at like the front desk and some of the hospital scenes, there's just a feeling. And even when scary things are happening in this film, it was interesting to see a lot of it. Like, not everything is happening in the shadows. Something might be chasing somebody and you're just watching this happen, or something might be coming towards you and you could just clearly see it. It's not something that's like crawling out of the depths of the darkness in the corner of the screen, you know what I mean? And they do play with that a little bit, especially in some of the nighttime action sequences, but I found it interesting how very often the thing that is most scary is right in front of you. It was really visceral, like specifically the blood looked really real and bright. Again, I can't emphasize bright enough. I was way into the look, and I also want to mention the sound design. Like I said, punk rock, and I meant that. The score is great in the way that it ties into Hunter's character, Gretchen. She's a musician, and so it's a lot of fun because you're mixing that with a lot of shrieking, and that could have easily drowned out the experience and drowned out several moments, but they make it work. Like, they fuse everything together. And then with the title being Cuckoo, I think the plot reveals itself in a very interesting and tasteful way that left more to be desired, to be honest. Like, I definitely want to see this movie again. There were a few moments towards the end that had me scratching my head a little bit. There was also some things that were kind of like pushed to the side within the plot that irked me a bit. Definitely another reason to go rewatch it though, because maybe it's just something that I missed. But besides that, just really not a lot of negatives. Like all in all, Hunter, Mila Liu, who plays the little sister, she was adorable and awesome. Then you also have Dan Stevens and the entire rest of this cast. They just delivered, man. It was fun and crazy and psychological with notes of family trust and love and generational ideas. The message that I got out of it was that family is whatever you want it to be. You write your own story. And so, yeah, you're just kind of walking out of this movie like, good shit, man. But as always, I do want to give my Jones Vibe star rating. And my friends, I'm giving Cuckoo 4 out of 5 stars, no doubt. But if you've seen Cuckoo, please let me know down below. Leave all of your thoughts down in the comments. I greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure that you smash like, subscribe, and keep up the good vibes. Peace!